On this episode of Lapeef Let's Talk.
Wait. She didn't ask a question as she said that she was asking. She didn't ask a question, and
I asked a question. I explained it and I asked, I said, does it make a difference? Because to me, it does not. So that's
because
what I was
your
asking
example is not a real example, because that would mean that you spent an extraordinary amount of time outside of his profession to determine whether or not he a good character or not. Right. You don't spend that type of time with no doctor to determine whether or not he got good character. So how do you determine who to go to?
Right.
That's a disingenuous argument. It does not make sense. None of you are spending time with your doctor. None of you are spending time with your doctor outside of the doctor's office. It's disingenuous. It's disingenuous, and you know it.
The same analogy. You just used the same analogy.
Hold on. Brandon, now you see why I tried to give the definition?
Yeah, I see why.
Now you see why. They didn't took JR question. And they didn't change this shit.
You should have let.
I think y'all talking two different things.
Yeah, no, we not.
Hold up. This is why. Because see, look, this is the problem, right?
Hold on, wait, Logic. When he
add context, though.
One at a time, y'all. One at a time.
Add context, because listen, people think they know what words mean, but they don't. What she said is not insecurities. So that's why I try to add context, so now everybody can zoom into what the fuck insecurities mean. Now everybody just freestyling, just talking shit. And then
no. We have a baseline of what
Logic. You just went left. Hold up, but Anton used the term great. Great doesn't mean good or bad. It doesn't have. You can be great at what you do. Don't mean that you're a good person or a bad person. Like it doesn't. A great doesn't have anything to do with good or bad.
Man, y'all insane.
Wait. She used the term good. Now, Anton, if you're telling me that you're using the term great in other words, you're saying that this person is a good person, then y'all are talking about the same thing. But I'm just going by the.
No, because you take
a different career path. Then okay,
you're taking it out of context,
though. Right? A pastor. Okay,
it's a difference between saying that a person is not a good person and a person is a shitty person, right? Because that's a matter of perspective. So how do we determine if somebody is a shitty person?
Can I say one thing? Simply, I think he's asking you, can you give a direct example to back
up a shitty person? I was gonna change the career path because maybe a doctor is not a good example or something like that, but. Okay, so like a pastor, right? Have you ever met a pastor? A pastor, whenever you think about it in your head, they're supposed to be good people. They're supposed to be spiritual and, you know what I mean? Like physically be good people. But then they go and they fornicate, they cheat on their wives, they have drunken tendencies, like all of that stuff, but they're up there leading people and teaching people, but behind closed doors, they're not a good person. So like, that's what I'm saying. So like, if you have an insecurity and maybe you're not like a good person, but you go and you achieve all these things on paper, it still doesn't take away from the fact that you're not a good person.
Is this the equivalent of like a police officer save somebody's life? A police officer save somebody's life and then they beat on their wife when they get back home. That doesn't make him a good person, right? Like, is that an example?
But that makes him an exceptional motherfucking person.
All right, so he saved somebody's life, but then he goes back home and beat his wife.
Oh, you said beat. I thought you said cheat.
Yeah.
I thought she said cheat too.
So logic. The definition of insecurity is uncertainty or the anxiety about oneself and lack of confidence.
Yes, and doubt. Yes, thank you, Veronica. So can we please stop talking about fucking character? I don't care about a nigga character. Oh, no. Read the fuck. Words have meaning. Shit.
Come on camera.
I ain't coming on shit. Because I tried to tell y'all this long time ago.
Well, he can be a doctor and still have lack of confidence.
Oh, okay. Now,
let me hold on. Wait. Let me ask y'all a question.
That's a Billy.
For this shitty ass doctor that's probably the best in his field. And you got an issue and you need fixing. Are you gonna go to him to get your life fixed, to get whatever it is that's wrong with you done? He a cheater on his wife, but he the fucking top of his field. Are you gonna go and let him operate on you? That's the
That
question.
means he's a good doctor, but he's an asshole at home.
Are you gonna go and let him operate on you? Is my question.
Yeah, if he can do his job, absolutely.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with if he's a good person
No,
or not.
you can
That's
pick another doctor.
talented and skilled.
You can pick another doctor.
Exactly.
You can go to
But
somebody
if
else.
he's the best doctor, then it doesn't matter.
No. You need somebody to save your fucking life.
Right.
Don't sit here and tell me about how not good of a person that this person is.
I don't care at that point. If I need my life saved, that's I don't care.
Exactly. And this is the difference. And this is one of the reasons why I started off saying what I say, because men, they have a purpose.
Right.
And when we start to get comfortable, we start getting in our feelings and having an opinion about whether or not you think based off of your own life experiences of whether or not he's a good person. Because good, like, it's not a monolith. Like, you may think that I'm an asshole because I don't agree with LGBTQ and what it is that they stand for. I don't give a fuck about what they stand for. That don't make me a bad person. That makes me not aligned with what you believe.
Yeah,
So we all wait. We're gonna have to check that at the door, because you can't exert what it is that you believe from an ethics and a moral point. I'll give you an example. Some people believe that it's okay. Some people believe that it's okay for you to just casually date and sleep with whoever you want to. And then you got other people that think that it's not okay and you a shitty person because you having sex outside of marriage. Who's correct?
Ask your question, B. Taylor. Go ahead.
Who's correct?
He asked a question,
I
though.
was just gonna ask the question that I was trying to ask was you said the top doctor, but what
Well,
if
hold
there
up.
were
You
two
asked your
doctors?
question, B. Taylor.
There was two doctors. I asked my question first. There was two doctors that are on the same level, and you're going based off of character. That makes a difference. You're comparing a basic doctor to one of the best doctors that I can't find out there. So therefore, if I want to live, I'm going to choose the best of the best doctors because I'm choosing life. Now, if it was a doctor and they were on the same type of level of expertise and skilled, then I'm going to go off of character and who I trust and want to be surrounded by. That's what's the difference.
Well, that would mean that you would have to spend an
Can you change the question?
Well, she didn't even actually ask a question. Wait. She didn't ask a question that she said that she was asking. She didn't ask a question, A. And
I asked a question. I explained it and I said, does it make a difference? Because to me, it does not. So that's
because
what I was
your
asking
example is not a real example, because that would mean that you spent an extraordinary amount of time outside of his profession to determine whether or not he a good character or not.
Right.
You don't spend that type of time with no doctor to determine whether or not he got good character. So how do you determine who to go to?
Right.
That's a disingenuous argument. It does not make sense. None of you are spending time with your doctor. None of you are spending time with your doctor outside of the doctor's office. It's disingenuous. It's disingenuous, and you know it.
the same analogy. You just used the same analogy.
Hold up. Brandon, now you see why I tried to give the definition?
Yeah, I see why.
Now you see why. They didn't took JR question and they didn't change this shit.
You should have let